Hello everyone, I am here to demonstrate how to properly pull off a Raddus counter against the Profundity. This counter has worked for me every single time. It has yet to fail me. It uses the Imperial TIE Bomber because you definitely want to burn the enemies, rebel ships, so they don't assist off you. It also uses the Imp Shuttle because that counts as the second dark side ship, which allows the enemy Profundity to go first before the enemy Outrider. This is pretty important to have both of these dark side ships so that um, the speed between Outrider and Profundity is is reversed. As well, I shouldn't say reversed, more like their turns are swapped. And that's really important because you definitely only want Profundity to take a jab at your raised Falcon so you can inflict target lock on the Outrider and force the TIE Bomber to taunt so that when Outrider takes its turn, it can go ahead and attack your TIE Bomber and wouldn't touch your Falcon. There are also some other plays that are very important. I'll make a note of them when we do come across them, simply because I don't see them done properly in other videos. So this will be what I think is a relatively foolproof, consistent method to use Raddus against Profundity. You can still get dodged, and I will kind of show you. Hopefully, in this battle, maybe there's some bad RNG. You could get dodged and have one rebel ship survive when Rey's Falcon does its AoE. In that case, the battle does get closer, and you could risk having the Profundity do its ultimate, but generally with one enemy ship, you can basically blitz down the enemy ship and the reinforcement, and you should generally still win. That's why I bring the full resistance lineup, just in case. But so far, the only reinforcement that's required is Zori's. The other three ships are definitely helpful to have in case one of the rebel ships does dodge the Falcon's AoE. Alright, this is some pretty high relics on the enemy team. Let's go ahead and battle. Alright, so they're targeting my Falcon. Notice that Outrider has target lock, and that forces the Imperial TIE Bomber to taunt, and they can't target my Falcon anymore. Now, for a raised Falcon's AoE, you want as much buff as possible, which means the best move is the third ability, the second special, and see how many buffs he gets. Alright, most people don't do this right. If you do the third ability, you're going to inflict target lock. Han's Millennium Falcon is going to dispel all rebel allies the moment their debuff count goes to 3. 3 different types of debuffs. You don't want that because you're going to inflict burn, you're going to inflict target lock, and then you're going to inflict expose. That's going to dispel. That's going to be dispelled, and that expose is very valuable to helping you beat the Y-Wing. So you're just going to save your hard-hitting special for his second turn and just do a basic here. And then you're going to reverse thrust, and you're going to burn so that they don't assist off each other, and you're going through their stacks of bulwark. Now, funny enough, they didn't bring out Rogue One. This is a little surprise to me, but even if they did bring out Rogue One, it should still be the same. You are going to go ahead and notice how there's only one debuff on Rebel Y-Wing. I'm still going to kind of play to a Rebel Y-Wing. I'll bring in the Comeuppance. That's going to inflict expose. Notice at this point, what happens is the burning causes the reinforced hull, which gives 250% defense to enemy rebel ships, which nerfs your attack. It's the burning is eroding that reinforced hull, so that when your ray does its AOE, it's gonna hit super hard. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna target and call Falcon, and unfortunately, gets called to assist. With Biggs, it's actually a little bit harder. Actually, Rogue One doesn't have the taunt, so you can kind of target Outrider if you had Rogue One. You don't, so we're gonna just go ahead and target him, and then so we have two ships that survived. With Biggs, it's a little bit harder to pull off than Rogue One because of the taunt, but I'm glad it's shown here because this is kind of like in case a scenario in which one ship dodged your AoE, or in this case with Biggs, keeping that taunt up, kind of taking away your attention away from Falcon. But the goal is, if it wasn't Biggs and it was Rogue One, you would instead target Outrider and do the with the M shuttle and do this M shuttle special there instead of Biggs. I was forced on Biggs because Biggs taunt, but you would have done that, and then Ray's Millennium Falcon, you would target Han's Falcon and do the AoE there. I'm just going to wrap up this battle here because obviously it's not too bad. But yeah, that's the only difference. If Rogue One was in the reinforcement and they summoned Rogue One, what you're going to do is you're just going to simply with comeuppance, you're going to target and mass assist on their Y-wing like we did in this video, and then you're going to target with the M shuttle Outrider, and you're going to do the special that you saved from the first turn. You're going to do the special on the Outrider, cause its stack to drop down to 0, the reinforced hull, and then you're going to with the Ray's Millennium Falcon, you're going to target Han's Millennium Falcon, and you're going to do the AoE. Alrighty, that's all I have for you.